Is it recording?
Yeah.
Hi, Tracy. This is James.
Hello. How are you?
Super nice guy. I was just thinking it would be great if he was on your podcast. And so I wanted to introduce you to him.
We have a lot of dance things to talk about.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
With Tracy in LA. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast, Dance Journey. Today we have James Velasco.
Hello.
And I'm excited to tell you guys the story of how we met because we actually never met. We met today. I just saw him be amazing in ballet and was like, can you be on my podcast right now? No, I'm just kidding. That is definitely not what happened. So yeah, basically James is one of the few people that was just like, ever was just like pitched to the podcast, because usually I just meet people in classes and I just ask different people depending on, I don't know, whoever I want to ask. There's so many people I want to ask, but I actually received a video one day of someone I know from a class like basically telling me on the camera that they thought James should be on my podcast. I don't even know. Actually, James, you should talk about what happened because I wasn't there when you guys made that video.
Well, my two good friends, Casey and Sazday, I was just out with them one night. You know, I just recently moved back to LA, so they were really excited to see me. And as we were talking, they started talking about this podcast with this person that did cool podcasts for dancers. And so they took a video of me and they sent it to you, and it was immediate, like a follow on Instagram. And I was like, oh, well, I guess she's interested. And then it happened, and now we're sitting here in the car. It's so cool.
It's funny because Casey, so I'm good friends with Casey, and then I know I've taken class with Saz, but we've talked a little on Instagram and stuff, but Casey just randomly sends me this video, and I'm like, what is this? I'm like, who is this person? He's like, oh, you'll never believe it. Saz was just like talking up your podcast, and then she said that James should be on it, and it was so funny because Casey was probably one of the first people that I like told I was going to start the podcast, which was like, I mean, probably almost 2 years ago. So he was there in the very beginning. So for him, it's like, he's like, oh, it's exciting that people are just like talking about it, you know? But I'm like, people have been talking about it, Casey. It's been around.
Yeah, we're popular.
But I thought that was so fun. And so I was like, this is the most hilarious little video, and I would love to shoot a podcast and put this video in it. But yeah, I looked you up and I was like, oh, it looks like this guy's done like a lot of cool things. You're a really good ballet dancer. Not that it's about doing cool things, but I was like, yeah, I'd love to like get to know his story and hear from him. So we're both busy, but we were in contact and then figured out, okay, in my defense, I told James to pick a beginner or an intermediate ballet class to take. And then he was like, he definitely sent me an advanced class. Which I didn't know till I looked it up, and then I was like, okay, well.
I mean, it was intermediate advanced.
No, it just said advanced.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, on like the website.
Sorry, my
That's
bad.
okay. He teaches. This is Johnny Zong. Is that how you say his last name?
I think so.
He does teach an intermediate class, but the class we took on the Westside Ballet app or on MindBody, it says advanced. It just says advanced ballet, and I was like, oh
it's
no. And
it's challenging.
I haven't been taking ballet, and I almost was like gonna ask you if we could switch it, but then I was like, you know what? I've heard really good things about Johnny. I texted a couple of my friends and were like, hey, how hard is it? Like, do you think I'll die? And they were all like, Johnny's great. He's so nice, but like, yeah, no, you'll be great. And I'm like, I don't know. Anyways, so we took that class. Actually, I liked the class. I was struggling for my life. You were amazing.
Thank you. I thought you were amazing too, actually.
Oh, I
was like, she's got the steps.
I was focusing so hard. I'm proud of myself because there was a few times I wanted to just check out and be like, I don't know what he's doing. But I was like, you know what, Tracy, you can get it. Just keep looking. Just keep trying to do it. So all the bar combinations, even the harder ones, I felt like I at least by the end was sort of getting the mechanics, and I was like, okay. One time he told me good job.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
he's very encouraging.
Probably he saw that I was struggling. But I was starting to get it, and he was like, yeah, good.
Johnny also has, I make the joke that Johnny has Act 1 and Act 2 in his bar. Like, he has a whole ballet, like, in the combination. So it's really good if you, like, need to learn how to pick up long combinations that have like part 1, part 2, and that's what I really take away from it. And then he has you do it again with port de bras, so that for me is always a little bit challenging and adds to the stamina aspect of class. So
I did like how he did that. Yeah, the second part of the combination would be like a little bit different, and then also like adding the port. But I liked that because in the first part I was like, okay, I don't have to think about the port de bras. But yeah, the combinations were really fun. Definitely, if I was taking him like more often, I think I could grow a lot. And
Absolutely.
I definitely liked him as a teacher. But then I always get scared of center because I just didn't grow up doing ballet, and there's just little things I just don't know sometimes, or I don't know what moves are. And so we got to center, and I just literally told James, like, please don't look at me.
That's when you just ask, okay, like even for me, I always go back, I'm like, just ask one of the girls if you don't know what it is. Like, and luckily today, you know, Matisse and Melissa, all of them were there. So I was like, sweet, if you don't know what something is, like just ask one of the girls.
Yeah.
And so
They're so amazing.
they're so fun.
Everyone in the class was really nice, and most people like really knew what was going on. So it was easy to really stare at people and kind of start to grasp it. So I had a lot of fun. It was so fun to watch James. So James and like two other, I don't know if were there only 3 guys in the class, or were they you guys just the ones I was noticing? I'm not sure. But the 3 of them often went together in the center for the center combinations or across the floor, and like it was just so beautiful. I don't know. You guys all looked like you were literally flying.
Oh,
like
thank you.
the jumps, I don't know. They just like suspend in the air, and I'm like, how do they do that? So, you know, these are things, you know, I'll never be at that level, but they're things to, you know, work at. And I was standing behind one of them at the bar, and he was so good. And I was just like, okay, he would do some extra things, and then I tried to like copy him. And I just love being able to try to copy really good people, because eventually you'll at least get a little bit better from that. So
Same, I do the same thing.
yeah.
I still feel like I see people in my brain that I like when I was first really getting into dance, and I was like, okay, I like what that person did. So I feel like I always somewhat try to mimic it.
Yeah.
I hope it looks the same.
Yeah.
Or at least eventually it will.
Yeah.
But, you know.
No, exactly. Well, you 3 looked the same and
thank
so
you.
good. And
You're
do
very
you,
sweet.
is that a class that you normally take? Or,
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, I usually go to Johnny in the morning. He's fantastic. He's so encouraging, and like I said, his combinations have a way of kind of having like part A, part B, part D, part Z. So it really helps me with that. It really helps me to remember, okay, this is what is coming next. And so I feel like by the time I get to center, like my brain is already warmed up in a way,
Yeah.
so I can get the other combinations down a little better.
That's true.
So,
That's a good point, because
yeah.
sometimes you can sort of check out at bar if the combinations are like too easy, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I have to learn these actual dances in the center. So yeah, it does kind of like warm up your brain a little.
Yes.
So do you take him? He teaches 4 mornings a week,
pretty much, yeah.
and do you take him all those?
Pretty much,
usually?
yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What other? Do you take other classes at Westside?
I do. I love to take Pat's class as
Okay.
well. I believe, I really hope I'm saying his name right, but Tigran. He's a little bit,
yes.
he's great.
I've heard of him. I haven't taken him, but I've heard really good things. Yeah.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. Really, everybody that I've taken there is amazing. And I'm trying to think. I know that I'm missing someone. Oh, David, of course,
Oh, yeah.
is
I've
just
taken him.
wonderful to dance with. And he's a friend of mine. So that's always a really
And he likes
good-
to sing when he's
Yes.
teaching.
Yes, I love, yeah.
Which I think is so entertaining.
and I like to sing too, so that like really helps
do
as
you
well.
start singing with him?
I do try and like sing with them. And then Sophie is my like Sunday girl.
Okay.
And she's just amazing, and her accent is just amazing.
Oh.
And she
Wait, where's she from?
I think she's from the UK.
Okay.
And she just like when she compliments, like the other day she was like, oh, that was extraordinary. You guys are like a patois. And it's so exciting. Like, I feel like I'm in a different, like, masterclass, and I feel like everyone is so quiet in her class and just listens to her speak. And it's just amazing. So.
That's so cool to have everybody's different styles. Yeah, I have a friend that takes Sophie's, and she really, really likes her. I've never tried her.
Oh, yeah.
But
She's phenomenal.
that's awesome. Okay, so that kind of transitions us into, like, what is your current dance life right now? Okay, you take a lot of these classes at Westside. What else are you doing with dance currently?
Well, right now we are heading into Nutcracker season.
Yeah.
And I have been rehearsing with a school in Redondo Beach, Launch Dance Center. And we started working together in September because, you know, some of their students, they don't really have a whole lot of partnering experience.
Okay.
So I was coming in and working with them and working with the Sugar Plum and Clara. So that's really exciting. And I've never actually done Cavalier, which is really exciting for me. So that was new and fun. And then this week I start up with Pacific Festival Ballet and California Dance Theater. I'm doing their Nutcracker, so I started rehearsals with them.
I've seen some of their. They were the ones that did. Were they the ones that did Noah's Ark? Like a while ago. It was kind of a while ago.
Possibly, I think so. That seems like something they would do. So
it was really good, and Chasen was in it. That's why I saw it. Chasen Greenwood. And then I've been.
He does a lot with them.
Ever since then, I'm always like following them on Instagram because I think their works are really, really good.
Oh yes, and I have two friends that I danced in the company with, so that really helps.
Okay.
And so went over there and just knew a whole bunch of people, and it was just great. Great vibes, great school.
Cool.
So if you're in the Thousand Oaks area and you're wondering where to take your kid, take them there. So.
Yeah, beautiful. I don't remember the name of like the venue that it was at, but there was a beautiful like venue that we had. That was it. That the show was at.
The Bank of America auditorium, I guess.
Yeah, I'm
but
like whatever,
it's
something
beautiful.
with Bank of America in the name, but it's really beautiful. Yeah, it was a really good time. So you're involved in 2 Nutcrackers right now.
Yes.
Wow. Are you involved in Nutcrackers every single holiday season?
Pretty much, yeah. Since I've been completely focused like in company work, I mean, when you're with a company, you are fully focused.
You're always going to do that.
It looks a little bit different when you're with a company because you're obviously doing their Nutcracker, but you're traveling with the company. And we were also doing educational outreach shows as well. So we would show up early and do the educational outreach show for like the field trips and things like that. And then in the evening, do a Nutcracker show. And sometimes you would do a matinee and an evening show for Nutcracker. So when you're freelancing, you are usually doing maybe multiple Nutcrackers with schools or civic programs, or maybe even like last year I did a pickup company with Jose Mateo Ballet Theater. So it was like a 7-week contract, and they hired a company for Nutcracker. And then their students did some other roles like Clara and Soldier and things like that. So it just depends. Yeah, it depends on if you're freelancing or if you're with a company, then your limbs are dying from Nutcracker.
Do you get like excited when Nutcracker season is approaching, or are you like, okay, do you have to kind of like build your excitement for it because you do it so much?
I personally, and I'm a December baby, so it's always like my birthday.
Yeah.
I feel like it happens. It's a little bit of both. I have to brace myself because I'm like, all right, we're about to go into a very heavy dance season. You're going to be tired. There's going to be a lot of work, but I'm always excited. I actually love Nutcracker. The music.
Okay, I love the music too.
Still excites me to this day. I don't care how many times I hear Waltz of the Flowers.
Okay.
I still love it. And Snow is so beautiful, and the party scene music. Like I just get.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm excited.
That's good.
I'm a Nutcracker fan, and I guess if you're going to be any kind of ballet dancer, you kind of have to suck it up.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm glad you actually like it, because that would be hard if like every year you're like, okay, here we go again. I love Nutcracker music. Now, I will say, I probably need to see more Nutcrackers to see different styles of it. Like I always enjoy the music. I always enjoy the dancing, but the story of Nutcracker, I'm always like.
You sound a lot like my family
What?
right now.
I'm just like, what even is going on? I mean, I know what's going on, but it's just like, it's just so weird. I'm like, why isn't this like a real story? Or like,
my family actually says the same thing. They say that they're like, I'm always impressed with the dancing.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. But they're like, what's happening? This guy just comes and takes this girl and gives her a Nutcracker and so I always followed, everyone has a different interpretation.
Yeah.
Everyone has a different story, and, everyone does it differently. But I've always followed the story of the Nutcracker is you're going up the Christmas tree. So you start like at the bottom with the rats. You're under the Christmas tree and the toy soldiers and everything like that. And that's the battle scene. And then as you start to go up, you go through the snow and you go through the different diverts, and you're kind of making your way up to the top where the sugar plum is.
Oh.
So that's kind of what I've always followed. And I don't remember who told me that, but I always stuck to that. So I always think of it as we're traveling up the Christmas tree through the land of the sweets.
Okay.
So that's always really
cute.
exciting for me.
I mean, yeah, and people have like when I've said that comment to anyone, some people or ballet people, some people are like, oh, you just need to see this Nutcracker, or you just need to see this version, because like everybody does it kind of different. So I mean, I do enjoy it because I love the music. I love Christmas time. I love the holiday season. So
Me too.
Yeah, I definitely think it's fun. So yeah, I'm glad you really like it.
I was born into it, so I had no choice,
have to
honestly,
like
but I
it.
have to like it. So.
So okay, cool. So when you're are you with certain ballet companies right now?
I am just freelancing right now.
Okay.
So I was with South Carolina Ballet for
That's
2
right,
seasons
okay.
under William Starrett, and then I was with Jose Mateo Ballet Theater,
Okay.
obviously under Jose Mateo.
Yeah.
And that was in Cambridge, Massachusetts, so the Boston area.
Okay.
And it was incredible. So everything is always a little bit different in how they do things. So I've never been in 2 Nutcrackers that are exactly the same. So everyone kind of has their own way of doing things and their own storylines and different diverts, which is really, really
Yeah.
fun. So it's always a little bit different. That's what's nice. I feel like everything switches up.
Yeah,
you know,
so it's never, you still get the same music and everything, but a little bit different experience. It's not the exact same thing every year.
Oh, yeah.
And you just moved back to LA when?
Yes. Actually, in July. Well, I was out here for a guesting in May and June
Okay.
with Santa Clarita Ballet Academy.
Okay.
I was doing Sleeping Beauty with them.
Nice.
And I was a little bit I was like, I kind of want to come back. And so I'll use this long trip as a way to, see if I really want to. And I did a little bit of teaching and stuff out here. And then I was like, okay, I'm back. I'm moving back.
Nice. And you were coming from where?
South Carolina.
Okay. Oh, you were. Okay.
But I did spend the summer, last summer I was in New York City. And then I went over to Boston, and I kind of spent a year traveling and
Okay.
stuff before I was with Jose Mateo, and then kind of just did that. So
Okay.
yeah.
I know we're gonna hear kind of your whole story in a minute, but what was the main reason that you were like, I want to move back to LA?
Hi, everyone. So I wanted to tell you about my new book, The Tracy in LA Newsletters 2010. This is my very first memoir. There will be more. It's not like a normal memoir where you're looking back on your life and reflecting on it and writing a book about it. It's more like a memoir in real time. So basically, when I very first moved to LA to pursue acting, which was in 2009, I decided I was going to write these like monthly newsletters where I sent out actual letters in the actual mail to a bunch of my friends every month to give them updates on what I was doing with acting and jobs and friendships and all kinds of things that I was going through my very first time ever living in LA. It ended up being pretty humorous, and so I've basically gone back and edited them so that I could publish them as a book. So that's what this is, and yeah, if you want to be entertained and have a good laugh, buy my book, or if you just want to help me pay my rent next month. Oh, and you can get it on Amazon. The Tracy in LA Newsletters 2010 by Tracy Nicole. Nicole is my middle name. Also, there's a link in my Instagram bio. You can get it paperback or on Kindle.
I went to school out here. So I came out here when I was 20. I did the program at AMDA, the American
Okay.
Musical and Dramatic Academy, and which was fantastic because I really loved singing and dancing and acting. I really wanted to have that, but I wanted my focus to be on dance. So it really rounded all of that out and had a
Nice.
really wide variety of styles. And then they also help you put a singing book together for auditions. So you really
cool.
got comfortable with that and acting. So I really enjoyed that. And I graduated and got signed to an agency right out of the showcase. And after that, I just loved it. I don't know what it was, but I just really love LA.
But then you left.
I did. I went through a tough season
Okay.
in 2022. I think the writer's strike was actually gearing up. And at
Okay.
the time, I was really kind of zoned in on my commercial work, but I was doing a lot of ballet at Westside because, they found a way to kind of stay doing classes
Yeah.
through COVID. So 2022, I kind of had a rough season, and I was like, I'm getting a little bit low on money. And South Carolina Ballet is actually in my hometown of Columbia, South Carolina. So I started thinking of different ideas. I was like, maybe I should just go home for a little bit and take advantage of some of the teaching jobs I have over there. And then maybe I could come back, or maybe I could go up to New York. So I was kind of in the mood for adventure at the time too. So I was friends with the director on Facebook, and I reached out and I was like, I really need a place to take class because I need to come home for a little bit. is there any way that, I could take class with you guys? But if not, nice to meet you. He reached out and he was like, hey, James, like, it's great to hear from you. We actually need some more male dancers for our season. Do you think you could send over some videos? And so I sent him a lot of my videos of me dancing, and he was like, you look great. Let's talk on the phone tomorrow.
Wow.
So we talked on the phone, and then all of a sudden, in my family, like everyone knows who William Starrett is in Colombia. It's a very popular company that's been around for a while. So I told them, I was like, guys, William Starrett and I have talked, and I'm going to be in the South Carolina Ballet, and they were so excited. They were like, all right, we'll fly out next week and we can start the drive back.
Wow.
So it was fun, and it was such a great, it was literally like, all right, you're going to ballet boot camp now. So
I know. So tell me, like, what was that, had you been in a ballet company before that?
Never, actually.
Okay.
So I'd been with theater companies, and I did a contract with Disney Cruise Line. So I'd been under contracts, and I've been in that environment, but it was completely different. I was so excited because I love to take class. So I was pumped up that we had morning class, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get so much stronger. I'm going to get so much better at ballet. And then also we had all these rehearsals, and it was just phenomenal. I very, very much enjoyed it.
Were you basically doing ballet like all day?
Every single day. Well, I mean, so we rehearsed Tuesday through Saturday.
Okay.
And our Saturdays were our 7-hour days. So we were like 11 to 7, but the first hour and a half of our day was class.
Okay.
And then our director also really liked the Columbia Conservatory of Dance is the school that's with the company. So our director really loved for us to come and take the evening classes. And he really believed in me and my potential a lot. So he made sure he kind of stayed on me a little bit, which was great.
Yeah.
I really loved that. So I would go take the evening classes sometimes as well and get 2 classes a day. And it was just amazing. It was amazing to have that right at your fingertips, and you could just go and train. And I was so excited for that coming from the freelance world where, you have to pay for class and you might not be able to be in it that much because, you have adult responsibilities. So that was really, really great.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. That's like a nice
you.
switch from going from, being out here, freelance, commercials, whatever you were doing. And then like, oh, now I can really just hone in on ballet, focus completely on this. And then you were getting paid, right, for that?
Oh, yes.
And did you feel like it was decent?
I feel like it was decent.
Yeah.
I also had the luxury of, I got to stay with my parents
Yeah.
while I was there.
Yeah,
so
that's
that was
nice.
very nice. And I got to save money, and I also worked a teaching job at Columbia Ballet School. And so that also really helped bring in a little bit more income. And so I do feel like it was great. And then I also had that too. I had a nice family support around me. So if I had a hard rehearsal day, and, I'd been away for so long, so kind of getting to work a dance job in my hometown with my family around was really, really special.
That's nice.
So that
Do
was
you have
really
siblings?
nice. I do actually.
How many?
So I have a younger sister, and then I have 2 older brothers. They came in and out.
Okay.
So,
But
yeah.
none of them are dancers.
Oh no, none of them are dancers.
And your parents are not dancers.
My sister, I actually got into it through her.
Oh, okay.
But she didn't continue. She went more down. She did a little bit more with her singing. But now, of course, she can still bust out a triple pirouette.
Nice.
It's great. And of course, now we talk about it because I think it ended up being such a big part of my life. She was like, oh, man, I should have stuck with that, But yeah, my brothers definitely know. They played sports.
Okay. But that's cool that they're also supportive.
Yeah.
And then how long did you stay with that ballet company? Like, how long did you end up staying? Well, you came
2022 into 2023.
Okay.
And then I did the 2023 into 2024 season.
Okay.
So.
That's interesting though, because it seemed like you really loved it.
Mm-hmm.
But then you were just like, okay, I'm ready to launch back into LA.
Right.
And why? But why?
Well, so I had taken, after my 2 seasons, I felt like I still had some things I wanted to figure out.
Okay.
And so after that, I wanted to go and try the New York route and spend a little bit of time up there. So I went up and spent the summer in New York, and just, I had the conversation with the director, and he was very supportive. They were a little bit, it was a compliment. They were a little bit sad to see me go, but they were so supportive in the sense of like, they're like, you know what, like, go do it.
Yeah.
And so I went up there and trained at steps a lot and
Nice.
did a little bit. And I just found that it really wasn't for me living in New York City.
Okay.
I just was just not feeling it as much. And
Wait, why?
I don't know. I really do not know. I think New York was great for visiting for me. And I grew up like, New York was an hour plane ride for us. So it was very easy. We went up there a lot
Okay.
to just play and do things and take classes and all of that fun stuff. So, and then I also did, with AMDA, I did the New York campus first and then
Okay.
transferred
Oh,
out here. So I
interesting.
really did get to live up there. But I don't know. Maybe it just, I was like, maybe I missed like having my car
Yeah.
and just I really don't know what it was, but it was great. I mean, I loved steps and I met a lot of good friends, so I really appreciated it. So then after that, I was like, you know what, let's get some work in other places. So Jose Mateo Ballet Theater, I found out about them and they hired me for their Nutcracker season.
And they were where?
Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Okay.
So like literally right on the Harvard campus,
Okay,
basically.
nice.
So, and I mean, obviously the fall up there is just to die for. I mean,
Yeah.
it was so gorgeous.
That sounds awesome.
So I really wanted to try that out. I really hadn't tried freelancing as a ballet dancer, so that was something that was new and exciting. So I really wanted to try that out with everything that I had gained from
Okay.
South Carolina Ballet.
And then how long were you there?
That was November and December, so it was a full 7 weeks
Okay.
there, so which was really, really wonderful. So
Cool.
got a lot of time up there.
And then did you go back to South Carolina after that?
I did. I traveled a lot with a competition and convention that I was working for. And at the time, I was planning my trip out here and getting the guestings and getting my teaching stuff squared away. And actually, at the time, our director, William, started over there. He was kind enough to let me take class with the school there while I was home. So
Nice.
and then I also have a really good affiliation with Columbia Ballet School where I taught. So sometimes I would take class with my students that I was really close with, and that's always really special. So
Nice.
I'm like, hey, look at me, I mess up too.
That's cool. Yeah, it's cool that you got all those experiences. I was just curious about New York because I also think New York is a place for visiting, but maybe not living. For me, I feel like I've said bad things about New York on this podcast, like on multiple episodes, that I don't really want to say bad things because it is good. I think the dance classes
Of
are so good.
course.
The dance scene and the performing scene out there is amazing, and there are some really cool things about New York. But every time I think about if I've ever thought about living there or if I'm there, I'm like, it's just I don't know. There's a lot of little things about it that I'm like, well, first of all, I just like that it's warmer out here, you know?
Yeah, the weather. I mean, the weather's unbeatable.
Yeah. And I do like having my car. I don't think I would if I was supposed to go there, if it was like God destined me to go there for some reason, I would, because there are good things about it. But I just I cannot see myself just like not having a car and just like taking train everywhere. And then it's cold and then you're like freezing. And then I don't really like how the trash is always like on lining the streets, which like my stepdad explained to me is because New York's like an older city than Chicago. Like I'm from Chicago. And so, or because Chicago was like rebuilt after the fires. And so they rebuilt it in a way where there's like alleys and you can put the garbage like in dumpsters behind that. But like New York is older and they don't have it built that way, so they have to put the trash like in the front and like on the sidewalks and stuff like that. And when I visited New York, I was just like, what's going on? And like,
So-
I guess because it's so expensive, I think I would like
yeah, it is expensive.
I don't think I would mind those things if it wasn't as expensive, but it's so expensive that I'm like, why are people paying so much money when it's like there's trash everywhere and there's I always say there's rats. I actually never saw a rat, but people just say
You're
that.
very lucky.
So I assume.
Yeah, they're scary.
And then you get like these tiny
And they're
little
big.
apartments, and then you can't really have a car. And I'm like, I don't know. It's not that I don't like hate New York or something. It's just like I don't know what the lure is with how expensive it is, unless you really are pursuing like Broadway or something like that. But
If you have something, and a difference with the car thing is, okay, obviously with the budgets that artists are usually on,
Yeah.
an apartment doesn't usually come with a laundry facility.
Right,
So
and
you have to take
heard
it
that
to
too.
a laundromat. And so and everything is walking, and which is great for a lot of things, but for those things and getting groceries and carrying your groceries and, obviously taking your big sack of laundry. So if you got behind on your laundry and it's, Now you have to carry probably 2 sacks of it. It's very hard. Like it's just
Yeah.
hard. And then
It probably
obviously in the
builds
colder
character.
months- Oh, for sure. I mean,
I'm sure it was like a good, probably good for your character and your soul to like live there for a bit. And some people really love it.
oh, I have friends that are like, this is my city. I'm gonna be here.
Yeah.
Like they absolutely love it. And there was a few studios that I got pretty close with in New Jersey and Staten Island, and it was fun, to take the train in and it's like an adventure. But I still was just like, I'm an LA boy. I like it out here.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I like LA.
Yeah, same. Actually, and to be completely honest, I did not like LA in the beginning either, but now I
Wow.
love LA. So, maybe if I did move to New York, I wouldn't like it in the beginning, but maybe I would end up loving it. Who knows?
Right.
But love the weather here. I like driving my car. I mean, the traffic is bad, but I actually have so many things I can do in the car, and I just like it. But anyway,
I don't mind it too much, honestly. I
Yeah.
really don't mind it that much.
Yeah.
But, and I can understand why some people do. So,
Yeah. But anyway, sorry, that was a tangent, but I just
No, not at all.
I always like to compare New York and LA.
Oh, yes.
But the dancing, because during the pandemic, I took all virtual classes through Broadway Dance Center.
Nice.
They were so good. And I almost didn't even want the pandemic to end. I mean, not really, but I love those classes so much. I was like, oh my gosh, the way that I can not live in New York but still have New York classes in my living room. And they really had a good setup technology wise. Just the way they had the mirrored camera and the mics, and it was just set up so well. I was and the classes were so cheap for the virtual, and I was like, this is amazing. And I was taking class, and because of the time zone difference, I had a day job back then, and I could take class right before I started work at home, because I was working from home during the pandemic too. And I was like, this is just I was living a dream, which was kind of weird during that time. But then I danced so much because I had so much extra time that I ended up getting injured. But
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I got injured during the pandemic.
a lot of people did.
I think because when I started up with the ballet classes at Westside out here, I forgot that, I was also not doing gym workouts because the gyms were closed.
Yeah.
And so I was so excited to get back into dance and get my body moving. And so I literally slid into the split like I normally would. And I felt my hamstring just click, click.
Oh,
And I was like,
no.
oh, God, I don't think that was right. And luckily I was still able to take class, but it was it took a
Yikes.
second to get that hamstring back. The hamstring takes a while, so I really had to baby it. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I'm such an idiot. I cannot believe that. You're excited. We were excited. We
Yeah.
were cooped up.
Yeah.
And I was so excited to be back in class, and so I was slid into the splits like I normally would have. And forgot that, I haven't been doing all of the other workouts that
Right.
I had been doing before all of this happened. So,
That's kind of what I had been reading. A lot of people got injured because of that reason, because of just going back into classes and all the things and not having been doing as much or in the same way. For me, I think it was because I was dancing way more than normal because I didn't have a commute to work anymore. I had all these virtual classes and was dancing on our wood floor that wasn't a sprung floor, and I was doing more advanced classes than I had been taking, and I'm doing all these jumps, and I'm nobody ever suggested oh, maybe don't do as much jumping when you're on your wood floor at home, especially when I'm new and I don't know all of the stretching that you're supposed to be doing. I was actually I'm much more aware of my body and how to take care of it with dance now since I got injured, but back then I just was why would I ever take a day off? Why would I ever do extra stretching? I'm just gonna dance. I'm just gonna work on my turns all the time. I'm just gonna do these jumps all the time. And I would finish my virtual classes, and then I would practice on my own for hours. I have to get that triple pirouette tonight. I have to get these jumps tonight every day. And I would not even take a day off. I was a psychopath because I just love dance so much.
yep.
But it was taking over, and I think also I wasn't
Very well-known tale.
yeah, and I wasn't wearing shoes a lot at home, and I used to go to work and wear good shoes and stuff. So I think it was also being on a bad floor in my bare feet a lot, plus all the dancing, and just my feet were they were what are you doing to me?
I made a very similar mistake well, I guess not mistake, but a learning experience when I first joined the company, and I was so excited and I could not wait to get in. And I was like, I'm going to get so much better. I'm going to get so much stronger at ballet. And I was just like, the ballet bug had crawled up and bit me. And we had all these free classes that you could also take in the evening, and our director really wanted us to, so I was going to a lot of them at the very beginning. So my friend Mari, who used to live out here, was a beautiful ballet dancer. She told me, she's like, James, like, you might want to take it easy, okay? Like, you just came from a freelance track to a full-blown company contract, and you are, like, you're rehearsing every day, and you have a morning class. Like, maybe, like, ease into things. And I was literally like, what do you know? Like, please. I'm great. I'm going to be great. Our first show rolled around, and the day of the show, 102 fever was coming on throughout the theater day. And I was still able to do the show. But after the show, I remember I was like, I'm 1,000,000 degrees right now.
Oh my gosh.
And I had to miss the rehearsal the next day. And like, our director had us Zoom in for rehearsals, so they literally had me propped up on a laptop, and I was literally laying in bed like, oh my gosh, they were like, oh yeah, you're sick. Like I could not come in. I was so sick, and I talked to like Mari a few days after, and I was like, well, you were right. I ran myself into the ground because I was so excited. But like, your body needs a second to catch up.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just throw it into things and
oh my gosh,
expect it to react the same way, you know? So you really have to watch out for that, which was, oh my gosh, it's so funny. We laugh about that so much now. I'm like, oh my God, what? I torpedoed myself.
Yeah. I think that's what we do, because we love it, and we're like, well, I'm just going to do more and more. And I used to be like, I just have to take so much class, and then I realized,
more.
Yeah, actually I realized, like, when I started taking a little bit less class, I actually started improving. I think my body started having the breaks it needed, so that I was replenished with energy, and then I was getting more out of my classes.
Absolutely.
Than I was when I was just like, when I had like a bunch of money. I had more money in the past, not like a bunch, but like I was going class, and like, doesn't matter if I spend all of my money on class, you know, but then I didn't have as much money, couldn't take as many classes, and I started to feel like I was growing more from taking fewer and just like having the energy and having the rest my body needed. So it was very interesting. Yeah.
You know,
I learned a lot from those experiences, but sorry, I keep messing with the air because it's like, I feel like I'm cold, hot. Like, what is happening? But you can also touch it if you want.
Well, that was a good thing. I even tried to tell newcomers in the company. So I would always have the method of, let's say we were doing a show that I was dancing a lot and had a lot of rehearsals that day. And I was like, okay, let me go to the evening class because I really didn't dance that much today. I did class and then maybe 2 rehearsals. So there were times I was doing a lot of the evening classes with the company, and then there were shows where I was dancing a lot. And so I was like, all right, you know what? Let's not bully ourselves. Like, go home and rest.
Yeah.
And then you can wake up tomorrow, and then the day can start over, and you can get back in it. So there are times it's like, okay, you have to be... Sometimes it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter.
Right.
So, yeah.
When you decide to finally take a rest, what is like a restful day for you?
That is a good question, because sometimes I'll do a day where I was like, you know, we need to do a gym day, or I really love Soul Cycle, so let's go do another workout, like a parallel workout, and work on the other muscles. And so I will usually do something like that. Or if I just do a full-blown rest day and just take time and maybe get some things done around the house and maybe do errands and really just rest, you know, you shouldn't shame yourself so badly for taking a day to just kind of sit around the house and maybe bake something or, you know, work on maybe some social media or work on some other things like emails or sending your stuff out or editing reels or things like that. So, yeah.
I love how that's just like so typical of like a dancer who's like, oh yeah, my rest day is I'm doing a different kind of workout, or you're like,
True.
I'm going to get my errands done, which I think that is what happens because you like barely have downtime. And so you're like, okay, this is my rest day. But like,
exactly.
Is there ever a time where there's like something fun that you like to do that's not dance?
Yeah, I mean, I love to go have dinner with my friends.
Okay.
I think that's something that I really enjoy. I love to go out to dinner and have fun with my friends. I love to get together and let's go do something fun. Like maybe let's drive out of town and go see something, or and you go see a show, or even something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like there are things that are and shopping. I'll be honest, I do.
Wait,
love
what
to
do you
go
like to
shopping.
shop for clothes? What kind of shopping?
I do love to shop for clothes.
Okay,
yeah.
I like to shop. Okay, I've been tight on money for a while, so I haven't done a lot of clothes
I haven't
shopping
done a whole lot of shopping
recently.
either.
But I actually love clothes shopping. That's the only kind of shopping that I like. I don't really like grocery shopping. If you follow my social media or my stories, I always post when I'm grocery shopping. Like I'll post all the little things I'm looking at. Do you know why I do that? Because I hate grocery shopping. So I feel like if I turn it into something funny or fun, it makes me like it more because I don't like it. But clothes shopping, once I have money again, I love clothes shopping. But yeah, it's funny. It's very relatable how it takes you a while to think of like something like fun that you do, because I feel like as dancers, we just love to dance, and we do love to work out and things like that. So it's kind of, it takes a minute to think of something like normal that you do for like fun.
Like, wait, what do I do for fun?
What do other people do for fun?
Yes.
I'm like, I don't know, I'm just gonna take another dance class.
Good.
I'll just take a different type of dance class than I
Take a
normally
class
take.
with your friends.
Yeah,
Like, oh yeah, this is fun.
But anyway, okay. So I do want to know a little bit about like the beginning.
Yeah.
And like, so where did you? Oh, you were born in South Carolina.
Yes.
And then when did you, or how did you even get started in dance?
So as a kid, my sister and I were the youngest of two older brothers, and we were all really close in age, but we really showed an interest in performing. So my sister, when I was little, she was like, "Come watch my dance class," and I went, and the teacher, I think I like showed the teacher a position, like, and she was like, I thought she was about to tell me like, "All right, you need to sit down and like just watch the class," and then she was like, "You need to take dance."
Oh,
and
wow.
so she let me come in and take for free. And my mom was actually like, "What? I can just drop 2 kids off at once?
Oh,
like,
that's nice.
Sounds amazing. Sign me up." And so I did that. And then we kind of transferred a little bit more into musical theater. You know, my parents sang in church. And so my sister and I did. And they knew that we performed outside of church, so we always kind of had the leads and like the church musicals. We did a lot of musicals, and
Your church did musicals?
We did.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
was it like a big church?
Pretty big. You know, we had a good performing group.
Okay.
My era, so that was fun, and then we both kind of deterred a little bit and got a little bit into competitive cheer for 2 years. And so I gained a lot of acrobatics.
How old were you when you did that?
I think I was about 13 or 12 and 13-ish. And then
Was that the first time you started competing? Like, did you do any competition before cheer?
I did dance and
dance
singing competitions.
Oh, and singing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, we sang at dance competitions. So
Oh, wait.
yeah.
There were competitions that had both singing and dancing?
Oh, yeah. Well,
I didn't know that.
You could sing, like, they always said that the dance competitions were also, like, talent competitions.
Oh, okay.
So you could go and sing, and we were with a little competitive musical theater group that actually a lot of dancers, and I met a lot of dancers through that.
Oh, cool.
So my sister and I and a few other people, we would always be the ones to sing when we were there to do our group numbers and everything. So that was really good. That was really fun. And
That's
I got a
fun.
few trophies from that, which was exciting.
Were you guys ever able to sing together, or were just always separate?
I think we did a duet here and there.
Okay,
but
that's cute.
Yeah, it's adorable.
And you said she sings now.
Yes, she's a singer
And
in
she's
Nashville.
in Nashville. That's so
Yes,
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you did competitive cheer.
We did. Yeah, I did.
And did you like that?
It was fun. You know, I really enjoyed tumbling and just jumping.
Okay.
It was so much fun for that. So I did 2 years of that and was really, we went to the World Championships and everything. It was really exciting. But I remember the second year that I was doing it, I remember telling my dad, I was like, well, I'm kind of starting to think more about dance again. You know, I kind of want to take that route. And my dad was like, well, I've got your old ballet teacher's number, Talene, in my phone still. I could always text her. And she was like, I'll be in Colombia over the summer working with a few people, and I could take a look at him. And so
Nice.
I got in with her that summer and we started working together. And then she sat my dad and I down and she was like, James, like, I think you could absolutely have a future with this.
Wow.
But you're going to have to devote your time to it.
Okay.
Like, you're going to have to just like put all of your time into it. So I got in with the University of South Carolina. They have a really good high school kind of pre-professional-esque program. So I got in with them and did their summer intensive. And then we worked on getting me into North Carolina School of the Arts in Winston-Salem. So I got in and went up there my senior year of high school and did their year-round school program and
Nice.
just danced all day, every day.
Wow.
So-
And now, was there ever, like, ever since you liked dance since you were young, did you always think I would love to be a professional dancer? Or was there ever anything else you thought you were going to do?
I think performing just in general was something I
Okay.
always wanted to do. And I think that was what I started to realize as I was kind of in the cheer world at the time. I was like, okay, well, what direction am I going to go in? You know, what are we starting to think about for college? What am I starting to think about for after high school? And, you know, those conversations start to happen. And I was like, you know, I really miss performing and I really liked performing a lot. So I was like, maybe we should switch up our path and maybe start going back towards dance. And that really helped. And I luckily had the singing training from, you know, being a kid and growing up and singing. So that really transferred over to when I started training in that again. So I really had the whole, it was all still there because
Yeah.
I had the foundation. And so I just kind of picked back up on it, but learned, I know it sounds easy as I'm talking about it, but like there were a lot of like challenges as I just went back in. But
Yeah.
but I would not trade it for anything. So.
Can you describe any of the challenges?
For me with dance, I remember, you know, they said you have such a great facility, you have something that's great, but I also realized that that was not everything. And that has to be trained and that has to be worked on. And there were also, I remember getting to School of the Arts and seeing a lot of these other kids that are taking dance really seriously and these, you know, instructors that are, you know, training us and realizing that I was like, oh, well, those nice things were not everything. There are still other things that have to be worked on. And I remember it being really hard, like picking up, you know, they don't take certain time to just learn something. You have to pick things up quick. And that's part of dance is having the ability to comprehend movement and how to comprehend it fast. That was something that was a really big wake-up call to me. I was like, okay, we don't just come in and like learn a routine. You have to take the class and like actually get the combinations down and you have to remember the combinations. I remember that being like a big wake-up call for me. And like, you know, that ability to, that mind-body connection, but that's why staying in class was so important.
Yeah.
And that was kind of where I needed to be at the time. I needed to be in a place where I was like, okay, you're just going to be in class all the time and you're going to be surrounded by other dancers. And they really helped a lot. They really helped being around like, hey, here's what I did.
Yeah.
Here's what stretches you can do to help with this. So that really helped and got me here.
Yeah.
Got me right here.
That's great. So you felt like it's been pretty good as far as finding like community and support and encouragement among other dancers and everything.
Absolutely. And I think especially too as a guy, it really helped. I think there's a good encouragement because you really need them and you really need the guys around, but it's also, I feel like I also found myself watching the girls so much and I just loved how focused and how precise they all were because they usually have been training so long, and usually like my teacher said when I was first getting started, I think when I was like 13, she was like, just throw him in the class with the girls. He'll pick up, you know? And now I see that as such a useful tool. I was like, okay, yeah, like, and that's why literally I said, it was like, just ask one of the girls.
Yeah.
If you really are confused on something, I'm like, what does that mean? And then the girls are like, it means this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Thank you, girls of the dance world. You helped a guy out.
Now, because you love singing and dancing, did you ever think you wanted to dance on Broadway or anything?
Well, that was kind of why I went up to New York a little bit, but I was still so bit by the ballet bug that I was like, you know, but I missed the ballet scene in LA too, and the ballet scene in New York is terrific, but you know, it's kind of like the big companies, you know, and so, but I feel like out here there was a lot of smaller, like more project-based companies and a little bit more to do. But I do love to do theater, so I have done 2 regional productions of Newsies. One was a little tour,
cute.
so that was really fun. And so I feel like every time I do a musical, I always get a lot of singing and acting parts as well.
Yeah,
so.
that's so fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I don't know, are you just enjoying just kind of being more of a freelance person now and just seeing what's, does it stress you out to be like, what's my next thing? Or are you just like, no, it's kind of fun, it's exciting, like...
Sometimes it does, I'll be honest. And I feel like sometimes I really don't know. I'm like, oh gosh, like what's my next gig gonna be? But luckily, I really enjoy teaching. And so I have a really wonderful teaching job here. And I really just dive a little deeper into that in the months where it's like, okay, there's not really a whole lot going on.
Okay.
And then I just kind of focus on class. So
Can you teach more? Like, are you able to teach more if you need to?
a little bit, yeah. Usually just when everyone needs a sub.
Yeah.
I'm always like, hey, hit me up.
Like, I have extra time right now.
Yeah. I hit my friends up and I'm like, hey, if you need a sub, like I'm here and I have extra time. So
yeah. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you feel like good about it. Seems like you've had a lot of good experience doing different things to figure out what it is you want, at least for now. Like it seems like you're happy with it now.
I feel like I have, from being focused on commercial work at one time, which I've had a lot of great success there in theater, and then kind of moving into the ballet company world, I feel like I had a great wealth of knowledge to pass down and also make it very well known that there's so many avenues to take. So I know some people that are training in like a certain thing, but they might have an interest in another way. I'm like, okay, well, here's how you can go about that, and here's how you can do this, and if you want to go down this route, these are the steps that you probably need to take. These are the classes that you probably need to do. And I feel like it's great. There's such a big world out there for performing, and it's really fun. And you kind of just have to talk with the right people and know the right things to research. So I just try and also promote that as well.
Yeah, there's so many different avenues, and it's nice to be able to learn from people that have gone ahead or done different things than you. And it's nice to like help those that don't know, like which direction they're going.
Funny story on that. I do remember one time in my first season with the company, a few of my friends that were just ballet dancers, like completely focused on like never really did any other kind of dance work. I remember asking them one time in company class or before company class, I was like, do you guys do callbacks in the company world? As something you would do on the commercial or theater world. And they were like, well, it's usually more like you send your footage and then if they like you, they invite you to take company class. But they were like, they might invite you to take another company class and then that could be your callback. Like you're not like, let's take another look at you kind of thing. So it was kind of fun to learn new things about how they audition and how people, how you go about it in this world. And sometimes they would ask me questions like, they were like, well, how do you get with an agent? Or how do you get with, how do you start doing that kind of work? And I was like, well, there's casting sites and getting with an agent. You really need a reel and really good pictures. So it's nice to be able to help each other out.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely when I first moved to LA, I was pursuing acting initially. And I did.
Nice.
I did a lot of extras work, but it was really helpful in the beginning to like meet. I didn't realize how much you could learn just by meeting other actors and meeting people who were doing it. And they like showed me the ropes on so many things. And I didn't realize how cool of a community it was. Like, cause you always just hear or think like it's so competitive and that you're just like enemies with everybody, but then I'm like, not actually. The majority of my experience is like people helping each other and everyone's kind of in the same boat. So you have like a natural like bond of that. And then you're all like helping each other. And there's only been small instances where I felt like competitive or like there was like weird like feeling between some. I mean, most of the time it's like I think there's a really cool community here.
I would say there's a lot of camaraderie, and I feel like what people don't think about too is when you get to this level where you kind of come out here, everyone's devoted, like you've devoted your life to it. You have a major story about how you got here and what you were doing before you got out here to lead to this point. So I feel like there is like a good sense of camaraderie. And I feel like the ones that don't have that, I don't really think they last too long because, you have to be enjoyable to work with. And people are not just auditioning you based off of your talent. They're auditioning you based off of the kind of person that you are.
Yeah.
And will you be fun to work with? Will you be for acting and commercial work when you're on set? And sometimes you're there till 3 o'clock in the morning. So are you going to be enjoyable to work with for 12 hours? You know, I mean,
That's a good point.
yeah. Are you like, is that person going to be fun to work with, or are they going to be a total drag? You know, and I feel like, as you probably know too, sometimes like people who are really, really talented but have some like character issues. Sometimes people get to a point where they're like, I don't even care. We'll find another talented person. You know, so
yeah, that's a really good point and good message to people, that there's so much to work on, even just to be a well-rounded person that is kind, is hardworking, like responsible, like can be counted on, and that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, I do feel like I had a few like interesting questions I just wanted to ask you if you
Yes.
still have a few minutes.
Oh, of course, throw 'em out there.
Because as I was like, because I never met James in person, so I was just going through his Instagram. Okay, what? Tell me about your cat.
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. So interesting story with. I had a cat named Demetria that I rescued back in 2019, and she was so lovely. I mean, she's amazing. She's actually still out here. So I had her for up until 2022, and she was incredible, so cute. She was what's called a snowshoe cat, which is a cross between a Siamese and an American Shorthaired.
Okay.
I'd never even heard of that, and I'm
Okay.
a major cat lover. So I was like, wait, this is new. Beautiful cat. And so when 2022 rolled around and I had to go home for the company, my mom is insanely allergic. Like she became very allergic in her adult years. Like it was very, very random. But I ended up finding this amazing family that I'm still very close with, and they have like 2 teenagers and that love cats and everything. So we made it a big thing and like surprised them with the cat, and like they were so sweet in the sense of like they were like, we could not imagine doing what you're having to do. They have had me over for dinner like multiple times, and we still text and we like blow up each other's phone. Like we love bomb each other. Like we love this cat so much, and she just fits in with our family so well. So it was so great because for me as like a freelancer, and we travel, and we're when you're young and you're doing all of these different jobs, there were times I just felt bad. I was like, I feel like a bad pet owner sometimes for like leaving her and having to have someone pop in on her, which my neighbor at my apartment, Bob, who my next door neighbor, thank you Bob, love you, he would pop in and like check on her and like hang out with her for a little bit, and he was just so great. But I found that finding her a real big family was amazing, and one that really still kind of made me part of the family, which was really, really great.
That's perfect.
So, yeah.
Oh, so you don't actually have her anymore.
I don't actually have her anymore.
But she's really cute, and I have grown to really love cats and dogs.
Oh, yay!
And I watch a lot of people's cats and dogs, so I don't have
love cats.
I was gonna say I
dogs.
don't. I started out loving cats when I was little. Then I really liked dogs for a long time. Now I like cats and dogs both a lot. And the people that I just moved in with have the cutest little dog, and I'm obsessed with her. But I don't actually have my own, which I kind of like because I love them. But it's also nice to not have to worry about like, oh, I'm gone too much or whatever.
When you go out of town, and at the time I was working a traveling job that was taking me away like every other weekend, and I was like,
yeah, you just like feel bad.
So I think my first landlord in LA, actually when I was 20 turning 21, he gave me this whole lecture because he had a cat that I fell in love with and named Gravy. And
Gravy.
It was obviously gray. And I was like, I really want to get a cat of my own. And he gave me this whole lecture. He was like, James, like the pets are for later in life. Like the pets are for like when he was older. So he was like, the pets are for like when you're like around my age. And I guess it was making sense to me. I was like, yeah, I mean, like, when you have family pets, like your parents, you're in one place and your family is there and stuff. But it's like, it's so expensive, when they get sick or they, you have to go out of town and you have to find someone to watch them. It can be hard.
Yeah.
It can be hard to have pets, which there are people that make it work, but it was hard. And it was hard that I couldn't bring her home because my
Yeah.
mom was so allergic because
Aw.
she loves them.
Yeah.
But she is not like a little chew allergic. Like she's like
Really bad.
anaphylactic shock
Oh,
allergic.
man.
Like
Oh, dang.
a
Oh.
real allergy.
Yeah.
So
Wow. That's crazy.
but we love you, Demetria, and your family.
Well, yeah, that really makes sense though. I feel that too. Like, yeah, if I'm older, more stable income wise and not going places all the time,
Oh, yeah.
then yeah.
I'll have
love
20 of
pets.
them one
yeah, one day. Okay, and you also sing and you also write your music, right?
Yes, I do.
So, okay, I'm just curious because, okay, and then there was like a picture I saw where you were like, my cat's reading my diary or something. It was just like a joke, obviously.
I love how
But
much you looked at my
no,
Instagram.
you know
I forgot
what?
about that.
I did it very quickly, but I'm just a quick deep diver. But, so I was just gonna ask you because I love writing. I don't write music, but I'm just gonna ask you like your process of just like writing or writing songs. Like
I really dove into journaling. I'm so glad. This is a great question.
I
Thank
love
you.
journaling so much, and like so really, I know this is a dance podcast, but I was like, I'm gonna ask him about that.
Oh no, it's wonderful. I mean, I started journaling, and actually, I remember when I first started working. I think when I was 21, and I started keeping a journal. And so sometimes when I started working a job out here, I would arrive to work a little early and journal. And so it started to become like my coworkers started to get to know me as someone who journaled. And they're like,
Okay.
James, like you're always writing and stuff, which was great. And I would always date things about what I was doing. And then it's really funny. One of my best friends, Bretlin, who's out here, the first job that we worked together was a Newsies job, and she said that her first sight of me was I was sitting in a middle split writing in my journal. And I was like, oh my God, that is so on brand. It's not even funny. But, you know, and I've always been a huge Taylor Swift fan.
Okay.
And I just loved her lyrics, and
Yeah.
I've loved and I really just loved singer-songwriter music and folk music. And I was like, gosh, it's amazing. I was like, I just feel like I can do that. And so I started really writing like a lot of poetry type stuff and little bullets of music and everything. And I was like, okay, I gotta find like a producer.
Yeah.
I gotta find some way to make music. And I did find a great producer out here. And we've stayed friends, and we just ended up making all of these songs together.
Oh, cool.
And it was so fun to see it come to life. And I feel like there's a different formula for every song. Like sometimes I come in and I just have the notes, and then he'll be making the track and I just start to write to it. It just starts to happen. Or there's been times I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna like go for it, you know, and create something. But overall, it does start with writing notes and writing journal entries and poems and all of these. I actually have now a big box in my room of all of my journals from like 2016, which is when I
Wow.
started to get really, really
Yeah.
into it. And two of my best friends in the company, Gabby and Isabel, I remember one time they came over, and I have these two journals. I have these two journals that I wrote in every day for a relationship that I was in. So I have the whole thing documented from like being madly in love with this person to being like kind of angry.
Yeah.
And then ultimately when it ended, like
Yeah.
that whole thing. And so they were sitting there reading the journal
You let them
entries.
read it?
I let them read it out loud. And the way they were like doing my voice.
Dramatic reading.
Like
I love it.
it was the best. I was crying, laughing, and they were just like, they're like, James, like, I know we're laughing, but like, this is really therapeutic. Like, you have the whole thing documented. Because I had heard too that as we start to get older, your years get blurry and you start to forget certain
Yeah.
things. And obviously, I mean, you can't remember everything.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I go back and read certain things, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I forgot that I was doing that, or I forgot that I was into that person, or I forgot that, you know, that was happening, or I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I thought that. Like,
Yeah.
why did I put that down? But it really is a true thing. And I really push that for everyone. It's very therapeutic, and finishing when you finish a journal, like top to bottom, it's just like, oh my God.
That's interesting because I'm a huge journaler as well, but I actually type. I type them.
Wow.
So I've actually been journaling since 2007, almost
Oh my
every single day.
gosh.
I can literally be like, what was I doing on this day in, 2012? and then I can look it up. And so when I first started, because I used to just tell stories all the time about my life. I would go to work and just tell stories. And I had friends that were like, you should write these down, or you should do a journal, or people were always saying that to me. And so I was like, maybe I should try to start doing that. But my first time I ever journaled, I was 17, and I did write it. And I wrote it in a notebook that said calculus on the front. Because people like get diaries and they put like a lock or something. But like if someone sees that, they want to get in it.
Yep.
I was like, I needed something that like nobody wants to look in. So I literally just had this notebook that just looked like all my school notebooks, and it just had like said calculus on the front.
That's very smart.
That
actually.
was and I tried to write. I didn't want to journal, but people kept saying that to me, and I was like, maybe I'll try it. And I was 17. I'm like, I'm gonna journal every day for my 17th year of my life. And so every day I just kind of documented what happened. And, like, it was so boring. I didn't even really like doing it. I go back and, at the time, like, a couple years later, I would go back and read it and be like, this is so boring. The only ones I thought were interesting, where I was actually more, like, emotional about something, those were kind of interesting. If I was like, I'm so mad at this person, or I was like, oh, those
so
ones
mad
were
at my mom.
Yeah. Oh. But then, so I was like, I got this, like, revelation where I was like, maybe it's not about like narrating the day. Oh, this is what I did. I was like, I don't like writing when I'm not writing to someone or for someone. I don't just like writing just for myself. So I started thinking about it as like my communication to God. I was like,
I love that.
But then I was like, well, God already knows everything, so I don't need to narrate my day. He already knows what happened. So it became more like emotional writing of just like, oh, I'm struggling. Like, I didn't feel like I had to, like, explain everything that happened in the day. I just felt like, oh, I just need to explain my emotion about it, because he already knows, like, what happened in my day. And actually, my journals got so much more interesting if I go back and look. And then I would actually, okay, this is going to maybe sound, like, crazy, but I went to this church for a little while where they encouraged us to, like, try to hear what God is saying to us, which was kind of a new thing for me at the time. And, like, they said, oh, if you're writing, try to write what you think he's, like, saying back to you. So when I was typing, I would try to do that, and I would write in italics like what I thought God would like say back to me.
Oh, wow.
So now I have just all this crazy like emotional writing and all this stuff I went through, and then just what I thought, like what I know of God, what I thought he was like saying back to me, and I put that all in italics so I can go back and like, and some of it's just like, oh wow, I'm still struggling with this, but it's cool to hear what I feel like God told me back then, or oh, I'm totally not struggling with that anymore. It's really interesting.
That's a really good point. You have to learn how to journal, and you have to learn what works for you. So what was really cool, I mean, I already kind of knew how I liked to journal before, but so again, I know, total Swiftie here, but for the Lover era for T Swift, she released these like 4 journal things that had a lot of pages from her diaries.
Oh, okay.
And
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And so she had pages where she included like songs where she had written and what the lyrics were before, and like the year and the age that she did it. And then
cool.
She also had, so there was that part of the front book, and then the rest of the book was pages for you to write in. So of course, like, I had all 4. And so 2 of these Taylor Swift books were the ones that I wrote about the relationship that I was in, and a lot of songs. I wrote a lot of songs in there too. But like, it was so nice to see that. I was like, okay, like she's kind of essentially teaching people how to journal and how to, make songs and how to put your creative ideas down, because I'm sure, she gets that question a lot. So that is something for me that I feel like I took away a lot, and kind of figured out my own way and figured out new formulas on how to do it. But for me, it's always like putting the date at the top. Yeah. And something that is great, and I don't know if you do this, but putting the date at the top turned me into this like, I am now known as like a timeline person. So I remember, so when someone talks about something happening, I was like, oh yeah, well in 2022 or August of 2022, or well in October of 2024. Funny. So now I'm literally like a full blown timeline person of when it happened and what date. And then they're like, how do you know that? Like, how do you remember that? And I was like,
because you're like, you're used to just like, that's interesting. I don't think I do know that off the top. No, I do definitely write dates on everything, but I think I'm the person that'd be like, if I can't remember something, I'm like, oh, let me just, because it's all on my computer, you know, I have it saved on a lot of drives just in case, but like, I'm like, let me just go back. I'll figure out I'll remember what happened then and like so like, I don't have it all in my head, but I have like the Encyclopedia of Tracy or whatever. Like I can just
the
go.
encyclopedia.
I can go back. That's cool. But yeah, I do think journaling, I mean, it's not everybody's thing, but I think it's a pretty helpful thing for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
And if I go a few days without journaling, I become like kind of cranky because I haven't like processed things.
I do too. I feel like it gets
So-
everything out. It's such a like therapeutic way of releasing and
Yeah.
getting everything out into something. So I get the same way when I haven't journaled in a little while. Like I feel like I start like twitching. Like, I'm glitching. I'm having an issue.
Like I feel like we can't just live life without reflecting on it. Like we have to.
Information
you have to process
overload.
it.
There's too much in the system. It needs to be released.
Okay, we are gonna wrap it up, but let me just make sure there wasn't anything that I like.
I'm so glad I feel like we've talked about so much. Yeah.
Just like one last thing, I think. Oh yeah.
Give it to me.
So you have done a lot in your dance career already. Do you have any like very specific goals for something you still really want to achieve, or are you just kind of like, let's just see what comes?
Right now, you know, I would say I feel like I've done a lot and I accomplished so much, and which is great. I feel like your dreams evolve, and then sometimes you had this really specific goal that like, if you would have talked to me as a 23-year-old, I would have told you I want to be in Circus Soleil. I was really into my acrobatics.
Okay.
I was dancing a lot, and then I just started working these other jobs or getting some other bookings, and I'm like, wait a minute, like this is like a dream job. I can't believe I'm doing this right now. So the dreams definitely evolve, and then when I started working in companies, like that became a really exciting thing. So I feel like there are things of like, let's keep working. I do eventually kind of want to step in and do more film and TV and all of that stuff as well. You know, maybe get my face on the screen a little more, but also just to keep performing and keep training and just keep growing and, you know, adding more bricks to your resume and, you know, adding more to everything that you're doing. And another exciting thing too, I decided to step back into school and St. Mary's, they have a really great program called the LEAP program.
Okay.
And so it's for professional dancers to kind of finish their bachelor's while they're still going about their professional lives. So I'm really excited to step into that and kind of test my brain in a new way. So
Did you what type of, are you just taking sort of a general education with that right now, or do you pick like something specific?
They have like a specific set of classes for that, and luckily since I did the program at AMDA, that took care of all my elective credits.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
So I've got like 14 academic classes to finish up for my bachelor's, which is exciting, you know.
Okay.
And I was very excited to step in and, you know, promote arts education, and you know, a lot of people think that like, oh, that's pointless and everything like that, but I found that, you know, working towards something educationally as well as my performing career, that maybe I could even step into a role of like a dance college professor.
Yeah.
You know, I really felt like I could bring a lot to that later in life.
That's
and cool. see what I can do and see how I can just broaden my knowledge. And then also luckily I found a program that is able to cater to my professional career as well.
That's really, really great. I have never heard of that, but that's such a good idea.
Oh yeah, it was terrific. And I'd heard about it, I think in 2023 from a friend. And so then when I started, I always kind of had it in the back of my mind. And so then when I reached out, they reached back out and they were like, oh my gosh, James, you'd be a perfect candidate for our program. And so I was pretty pumped.
Yeah, that's so cool. I feel like
I started in the spring.
Yeah. Oh, cool. It's really expands like your opportunities, and like you said, like adding more things to your resume, just being more marketable, or just to do anything that might interest you, just to give yourself like more opportunities. I think that's really great advice, actually, for a lot of people. Not that that's everyone's path, but
of course.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, this has been great.
This has been awesome. Oh my gosh.
And thanks for taking the time on your like sort of day off. I'm like, you did go to class.
Yeah.
Sounds like you have some
part of
like
normal
errands to do, but it was so nice to meet you.
So
was there anything that you were like dying to share that I didn't ask you or anything?
I would just say, you know what? Anyone who's watching or listening, just keep evolving. You know, I I feel like there is a sense to being ready for something, but I don't feel like you're ever really ready. When you get the opportunity, you're ready. So I feel like when I started when I got the offer to be in a ballet company, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even see this coming, you know, but I really needed a job, and I was in a place in my life where I was like, I kind of want to have an adventure. So I was like, let's do it. And then all of a sudden now it's completely like taken off in a beautiful direction. Of course there were challenges, but that's part of it. Like, if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. Keep evolving, keep learning new skills, and you pick up new things with every single job that you do. And, you know, if you can go into every day thinking like, let's get 1% better at whatever it is that you're doing, or doing something that scares you, think of how much better you'll get over time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's such good advice. Like, you just can't be afraid to fail. If there's an opportunity or something you can do, like, I'm definitely trying to be better about that too. Even just like today, I was like, okay, I could tell James like, hey, this class says it's advanced. Can we do another one?
You go. That's the mindset.
But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go. Like, let's see. I've heard good things about this teacher. Let's just see how it goes. And you know what? It was really cool experience. And yeah, I think it helped me grow.
In the gymnastics gym that I grew up training in and like learned a lot of my skills in, they had a big sign that said, if you're afraid of failure, you don't deserve success. And I feel like obviously too, like, gymnastics is such a like scary thing. So you have to have like a very good mental resilience.
Yeah.
So they had a lot of signs like that around that were just really motivating, and things like that were really like, if you're afraid, like, or like you fail when you don't try. So I feel like those are all very engraved in me.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like hard work and determination will beat anything.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
yeah, you know.
So good.
So good.
Well,
Motivation.
thank you, James, for sharing your
Thank
experience
you.
and being so inspiring. And yeah, we'll just be watching your journey and seeing where it goes, and excited for you.
Thank you.
So thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe and rate and review and all those things. And we will see you next time. Bye.
See you next time.
Dance, 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 dance.